Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com here in San Antonio at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention with a guy who seems like we pull you aside every year. It's Cornel Thompson, the head coach of the West Orange Stark Mustangs. Coach, it's good to see you, even more so this year, all things considered.
Yes, everything that's been going on and so on and so forth, and my longevity, I'm just thrilled to be here.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about your 2020 season. God knows you guys have had strange seasons before there at West Orange Stark. You guys are the next time you guys have a really normal season may be the first in your time there with the Mustangs. But when you take a look at what you guys were able to do in 2020, how do you assess what you guys were able to put out there?
Well, it's a commitment of our kids, our program, and our coaching staff. We did about all you could possibly do. Try to have an off-season program. I had 3 weight rooms around, meaning under the softball covered play area and the baseball in the weight room. So, and then we went into our season and we ended up losing the first 3 games, and we probably lost a dozen games in the last 3 years or so, So, and we're rocking along there and trying to be as protective as we possibly can. And we get to the second round and lose 8 starters, 8 players for the second round. So that's how our season ended, And
it's and I just imagine that, from your perspective, is it fair to say that there are some what ifs? Because it seemed like you had some things cooking there, as you guys were hitting your stride there, and then obviously, the pandemic hits in the wrong way.
Well, at that time we were starting to play pretty good. We're starting to. I don't know if you ever peak,
Yeah.
I know you don't in those type of seasons, but we were playing as good as we could play at that particular time. And then, like I say, we had some 8 kids exposed, so to speak, in their households, and all of them were negative, didn't come down with anything. So they asked me what we were going to do, and I said, what do you mean what we're going to do? We're going to go play. I'm not going to surrender before the game starts, So we went out there and played as good as we could play.
One thing, whenever we talk, you're always very quick to bring up your staff, and coaches will tell you that they're only as good as their staff, but that seems like especially true with you. It seems like you are, of the things that you're very good at, one of them is hiring people. Seems like you're good at surrounding yourselves with talented coaches. Is there a secret? Is there a trick to putting together a good staff, or is it just a matter of getting lucky and finding the right guys?
Well, I've always had, I don't hire relatives and friends, so
that helps.
It's getting the right guy, and then I've got 4 or 5 of us that's been together for a long time. Been there. My secondary coaches did a student teaching under me in the 90s, and my offensive coordinator been there. We've been together since the 90s. So the longevity of the staff, I think, is a big thing. It's really a big thing.
When you take a look at your 2021 team, this is I'm interested if maybe how this team may be different. I think people maybe look at West Orange Stark, especially under your team, and think it's kind of different flavors of the same kind of team every year, which
right.
I think is a credit to your consistency. Do you have any sort of feel quite yet for what may set this 2021 team apart?
Well, I'm thinking through the off-season program and our work, I'm thinking we're going to be pretty fair at running the football. We got people back in our offensive line. We've got a couple of them in 3-year starters, a couple more been 2-year starters, so that's a big deal for us. And I always look at offensive line and secondary. We got one back in the secondary this next year, Jaden Jones. I think he's going to be pretty good, but we've got to find 3 back there. But, with our football team, I think we've got a chance because JV was undefeated. Got some good players. I always rank them in prospects and suspects. So we got some suspects, but I think they're good kids. They're solid citizens. So I think they'll make a contribution.
Is it safe to say, though, that you are looking forward to a much more normal football season?
Very safe. I know that we keep hearing around our school district that the younger under 12 age is starting to spike, and all these players have got little brothers and sisters and stuff. So we're going to continue with our COVID guidelines and stuff, with the temperature checks, masks, so on and so forth, And I talk to them every day about the safety and stay away from the parties on the weekend, which that probably goes over a bunch of us' heads, but stay away from the large crowds and stuff, and let's don't get caught in a trap like we did in 2020.
Well, Coach, we're really excited to see your Mustangs as always, and we appreciate your time.
I'm ready to go. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.